let's have a drink.
Cheers.
Cheers, my friend. Modelo.
So what are we talking about today, Leon?
Believe we are talking about the new Paul Thomas Anderson film, One Battle After Another. Is that what it's called, right?
One battle after another.
I think it's got
No more rigmarole. We're not
Leonardo
gonna do this.
DiCaprio. Who?
We're not gonna do this. No.
Is that his name?
No, we're not gonna do this. Listen. Go see this film.
Yeah.
It's gonna lead off with that right now.
We're not gonna bullshit you. I know we just did, but this film, which we saw early, one day early.
Yep.
But we actually saw it in the intended format that it's meant to be seen, which a lot of
very rare format you were telling me about on the way there. I didn't even know this.
VistaVision is what it's called. And
Paramount that made it?
Yeah, Paramount, I guess, made it in the 1950s. And
it's 50s. I didn't even know it was that
it
old.
hasn't been used since 1961, besides The Brutalists, which was that Oscar-nominated movie that last year that I've heard is really good, but I still haven't seen. But this is the second film since 1961 to use VistaVision, and we were able, luckily we live near Boston in Massachusetts, so we were able to go see it at Coolidge Corner Theatre, which was one of 4 venues in the world showing it in 70mm VistaVision.
Yeah, which is just wild to think about.
Which we didn't even know until yesterday, too. We were like, holy shit, 4 in the world?
All we knew is that we got to see it early on film.
Yeah.
When we got the tickets, so that was already enough. But then finding out it's not just film, it's a very rare format.
I don't even think they promoted the VistaVision when we first bought our tickets, right?
All we knew was on
70mm, right? Yeah. But, yeah, so we saw this last night. 2-hour and 42-minute movie, which, you know, especially when you're driving an hour to go somewhere, you're like, oh, I'm going to be home late. Like, this movie better be good. And all I'll say before, as always, this is Spoiled It. And we're going to give you spoiler-free review first. We're not going to go too much in the spoilers. If we do say a spoiler, it's gonna be from the trailer at least.
Right, it's either from the trailer or out of context or
it's not like a character death or something like that. We're not gonna let anything like that slip at least. So we saw this last night. Pretty amazing film, I will say. I have been thinking a lot about it since we saw it.
Every single box for me, pretty much. Like, and to go through what those boxes are, I would say I look for performance.
Yep.
I look for screenplay. I look for cinematography.
Yep.
I look for visual, like, aesthetic, whether that's the CG or the composition or the color grading or whatever artistic effect they're going for.
Yep.
And I look for, like, just pure enjoyment factor, like just how engrossing, how fun was it. And it pretty much checks all 5 of those boxes. And soundtrack too.
Oh, yeah.
Soundtrack was amazing.
Not only with the needle drops, but, like, just the score in general.
Just the score, like, the score felt so, like, that's a good thing to talk about because it's not really spoilery at all. The score was so complimentary to everything happening in the film at all times. It was like, there's these cool, long, drawn-out, kind of, like, almost heist-like scenes in the early portion of the film where they're doing some groundwork for kind of, like, the backstory of the characters.
And because the opening takes place
in the past,
in the 90s or something.
Yeah.
16
years ago.
Yeah, so actually
like mid-2000s, probably.
Mid-2000s, yeah, exactly.
So during that scene, or these groups of scenes, when you're seeing kind of like a compilation of things going on, there's kind of just like this. It's almost like a marching band, like drum roll beat happening in the background, kind of like a. Like in the background,
it keeps the intensity really well,
and like they would hold it for times, and then things would happen, and like situations would change in the scene, and the music would very jarringly switch to a completely different tune, like a different instrumental tune, like a big band tune, and it just was like it was so good. It was so classic cinema.
It was also like very subtle too, though.
Very, yeah.
Where, like it blended just really well. Like even though, like you said, like it's absolutely phenomenal at the same time.
It's not John Williams, you know. You're not having these crazy huge orchestral arrangements.
Yup.
But like just it's very. It's kind of like a situation of less is more for a film like this, where it's like you don't want the soundtrack taking attention away from what's happening on the screen.
Or you can't hear characters or something like that, too.
Never a problem in this film.
No.
The sound design, that's another thing beyond the soundtrack. That's Sonic is amazing.
Yo.
Everything's got like good depth, good weight to it. The VistaVision was visually stunning. It's it's one of the craziest
filled like
things.
the entire screen.
Yeah.
Like we're used to seeing like black bars at the bottom, like these black bars at the top. This like especially like at the beginning, like I was really paying attention to it.
And in an old
like
school
there's a
theater.
shot with like a gate like opening.
Yep.
And like you can see that entire gate from like top to bottom. And like it really gives you this sort of scale where you feel like you're there, like kind of with the characters and everything. And not only that, but the theater Coolidge Corner that we went to like has amazing sound.
Right, amazing sound because it's an amphitheater.
Yeah.
It's a traditional amphitheater.
Where it literally sounds like you're there. Like I remember this is a different movie, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was my first time being at that theater. And I remember the
That was on film too, right?
Yeah, it was a 35 millimeter though.
Nice.
But I remember being there and that scene where it's like Rick Dalton talking with Al Pacino
at the beginning.
Yeah. It's like they're in the diner. It literally
13
felt like
fists of McCluskey.
Yeah, it literally felt like I was in that place.
Like
so,
sitting
I could
there,
hear people behind me and like shit clanging.
Yeah, they're so immersive.
Yeah,
and there's scenes like that in this movie. There's scenes like that, like there's
exactly.
scenes where there's a lot of things happening all around you, and like because the surround sound is so perfect, and because like because of the amplification from the amphitheater, and because of just the fidelity of the screen too, because of how beautiful the VistaVision 70mm looked, it's so immersive. Like you're just like.
I was thinking a horror movie would probably make you shit yourself there because like,
I've seen a horror movie
really?
there. Yeah.
Like because like a really scary one in particular,
Not
I feel like would be like really crazy because like there was points where like there was gunshots going off at the beginning of this movie, and I was like, it made me jump.
Yeah,
it was so
I know.
fucking loud.
I
felt
like
like it was going off in my ear.
I
like,
felt
I was
you.
Like, holy
I
shit.
felt you jump at one point. I was like, ooh, that really got him.
Yeah. No, it was just like it wasn't scary, but like
it's just startling.
Yeah, it was very startling.
Because it's so loud, but it's not like. Unlike I think like sometimes IMAX can suffer from this. It's not hurt your ears loud.
No.
It's just
perfect.
It's the quality of the sound that's so jarring. Like every single little thing feels clear. It feels like you're hearing something in real life. Like you were saying, it's like unlike IMAX where it's just loud. That's
exactly.
That's like not to say that it has bad sound quality in IMAX, but like they really are just focusing on the sheer volume and like the fact that things happen that shake the entire theater because it's so fucking loud, and it's like
IMAX actually has like really good audio, but this is like 360 audio where it's like you feel like we said, like you're in the room. So like if you have a theater near you showing this in VistaVision,
go fucking see
I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
Like that should probably be the first way you see this movie.
Which, as you said, that was the way Paul Thomas Anderson intended it to be watched.
I think the only other one that I imagine I feel like that is the way he intends it, like number one, but the maybe a close number one or number two would be the IMAX 70mm.
Oh yeah.
Which of course we don't even have any near us. Like the closest like New York or something like that, because there's only like 12 theaters in the United States or like 8 or something. That show
something ridiculous. Yeah.
And it's like I like this movie a lot, but like I'm not gonna drive all the way to New York. Like
you'd have to make some plans other than going to see that.
Yes, exactly.
Like, while we're in New York.
I'm not going to just drive there to see it and then drive back. Like I'm going to spend more time driving than I am actually watching the movie. But certainly if you live in New York or one of those cities, that would probably be the other way to see this, because from what I understand, that also fills the screen in like a similar way and everything. So
and the colors too, like that's kind of in the lighting. The colors and the lighting, just like the depths of shadows that you get, like you can see details that you wouldn't normally be able to see. I feel like in other like formats, it's it's very immersive and it's very pleasing visually. Like, it never hurts to look at the screen.
Oh, definitely.
It never feels overblown or washed out or anything like that. It just looks solid the entire way through.
Yeah, everything is very pleasing to the eye, to the point where, like, there's just small things that you're paying attention to,
right?
That, like, I feel like normally in other movies,
the background of every shot, all the set work that I was seeing,
inside,
like,
it was
fantastic.
Like,
yeah,
remember that scene where it was like,
because every detail is so clear
from the basement, but it was shooting up, and you saw like he had something on the ceiling, and it was like this hippie kind of like tapestry or whatever, basically. But I was like, damn, that looks so good, like with the shot and everything. So like you said, like lighting and just like the attention to detail with stuff like that definitely also helped this stand out, just from like a filmmaking perspective.
Everything is so. I mean, this is just like Paul Thomas Anderson's MO at this point. Like, I think he's kind of garnered a reputation for his kind of insane attention to detail.
He's kind of like Quentin Tarantino, where like I feel, well, they're friends actually, from what I understand. But I get like kind of similar vibes from like both of them.
Just I feel like the style of their filmmaking. Yeah, with like what they focus on.
Exactly, but like
very distinctive styles,
especially in the sense like you just said, where like focusing on that attention to detail. Like, I just watched. Well, obviously we just watched this, but like I was telling you of Licorice Pizza, another Paul Thomas Anderson.
That's the one I haven't seen yet. I remember you telling, because I remembered I hadn't seen that one yet.
And then I just started watching, which I haven't finished yet, but The Master, which is in the 50s. And it's like the same thing, where it's like he just pays attention to like a lot of that sort of stuff. Where
and then There Will Be Blood, like when you finally watch that, because Leon hasn't seen There Will Be Blood.
I know.
Keep an eye out for that episode, because that'll be coming up soon.
Retro rewind for There Will Be Blood. Yeah.
So once you see that, I think I'm really curious on. It's great because you're gonna see The Master. You're going to see, you just saw One Battle After Another, and then very soon you're going to be seeing There Will Be Blood. You're going to see what I believe, having seen all three of those, to be Paul Thomas Anderson's three best films.
Yeah. And
based on the other ones I've seen. So
I
think I'm very curious.
Nights a lot.
Oh, yeah,
but then again, like that's just coming from like all these ones I haven't seen. Like I've seen Boogie Nights, I've seen Licorice Pizza.
I think what's like
and Inherent Vice.
Inherent Vice, yeah.
And I think that's it, besides One Battle After Another.
I think one of the things that also makes Paul Thomas Anderson so compelling as a filmmaker is just that he never really constrains himself to one genre, ever.
No.
Like, he does so many different genres. He's done, like There Will Be Blood is, like, a straight-up, like, epic, like, period drama. Like, it's a super hardcore, like, kind of nitty-gritty look at, like, the American...
when does that take place?
It's in the early 1900s.
Okay, that's what I figured.
It's during the oil boom of the 1900s.
Is it in America?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just is showcasing just how ruthless and cutthroat that business was back then.
Interesting.
In a very raw, very awesome way.
So where did this rank, like, out of all Paul Thomas Anderson's films for you?
I want to watch There Will Be Blood again and really kind of give them their time in the ring.
But it's like
of my brain.
Neck and neck kind of with you right now.
Dude, fucking One Battle After Another. I made a prediction to Leon when we were talking about doing this.
Yeah.
I was like, you remember you were asking me about like doing this. Ultimately, we didn't decide to do it last night after we got back because we were both way too tired.
Yeah,
and I think
midnight.
That was a good idea.
Yeah,
because we probably wouldn't have been able to go long. And
we were like, we don't want to bring tired energy to you guys. Like, we're just half dead. Like, doing
and having
a
night, and like we also talked about having a night to sleep on it. Usually is a good thing. But anyway, I said to him, "Oh, don't worry. I have a feeling this is going to be the best film we've seen all year, and we're definitely going to want to talk about it." And I honestly think, just to put it out there right now, it is the best film I've seen all year.
No, I agree. This is my favorite film of the year so far.
I think this might finally be his Oscar win, man.
I think so too.
Because he's already had two films for Best Picture nominated, right?
Yup. There Will Be Blood and...
I think it was The Master.
Yep, yeah. I think it's just those two, right?
Yeah, they've got nominated for Best Picture, but he's never won.
Yeah,
he's won a BAFTA, and I know he's gotten like a bunch of Golden Globe nominations and maybe wins too, but...
That's just insane to me. But then again, like, wasn't Quentin Tarantino like that until, like...
Yeah.
Inglourious Bastards or Django or something?
I think it was Django.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's still... I don't even know if he's won a Best Director. I think it was
I don't think so.
wasn't it Christoph Waltz that won or something like
Best
that?
actor. Yeah.
So it's like you can get these really good directors, but then the Academy just does not.
And I think that might not. I think Best Picture is not the only Oscar this movie's going to get nominated for. I could see Best Supporting Actor and Best Actor for a few people in this movie, because that's another thing. The acting is fucking phenomenal across the board. There's not a single bad performance in this movie.
Well, I guess we'll get into that then, right?
And I'll die on that hill. Yeah, like Leo, funniest movie he's ever been in, I'd say. Like,
really?
I think it tops. I think it tops Once Upon a Time.
Wow. I think it's like almost neck and neck with me, because like I really
think his character is overall like more entertaining.
The character kind of has more depth to him in this, I would say, for sure. But like, it's funny because like this Once Upon a Time is kind of more comedic, I would say. Where like he's kind of only operating in that comedic house. But like it's funny as shit, and I love him in that. It's like my favorite role of his.
Right.
But this you're able to see.
Because you're still rooting for him. That's the crazy thing about Leo, is he can play these really interesting characters that kind of like are quirky and not really traditional main characters.
Yeah.
And you still find yourself like rooting for them in the end, because like he comes to these roles in a way that just makes him so likable.
Yeah.
Like, it's really incredible. Even when he's fucking Calvin Candy.
I know.
When he's like one of the most evil characters Quentin Tarantino has ever fucking produced.
You just can't wait for him to be on the screen again.
That's the guy who made fucking Hans Landa in Inglourious Basterds. And I think Calvin Candy gives Hans Landa a run for his money.
Oh, yeah, he does.
In terms of like the most evil character ever made by Tarantino.
Yes.
And yet, you still watch his scenes and see the thing, and you're laughing, and you're like, dude, Leo, you've done it again. You fucking beautiful bastard. Like, and this is that film. Like, the first...
Sometimes you're just laughing because you're like, fuck, he's so good in this. Like, not even because it's funny. Like...
He's a chameleon, man. Yeah. Like, the first, like, scene, the first, like, real scene that Leo's in, that's not just, like, an introductory scene, it was, like, 30 minutes into the film, and I just like sat back and I was like, bro, this is gonna be a banger. I can already tell. Like, just his interactions with like the first supporting character that he talks to, I was like, dude, this is gonna be amazing.
The parent-teacher conference scene.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into more later.
It was so good. I was like, oh my god,
because it's such a funny scene. Like, we don't want to spoil what happens during that, but like,
but also to just like put it out there too. Like, there's scenes and like the performances help this, where like the whole fucking theater that was packed, by the way, this showing was sold out, was laughing, clapping, cheering, like it was like I was at a fucking like a premiere of like a Marvel movie.
No, it was
like Golden Age MCU opening night type shit. You know what I mean? Where people were always like cheering at the screen and whatnot. It wasn't that obnoxious. There wasn't a lot of people like actually yelling out. But
No. I mean, like, it wasn't.
The energy was great.
It wasn't obnoxious, but like, yeah, the energy was really good, to the point where like there was some things happening that weren't even like really that funny, that people were just like, like
exactly,
laughing, and it's like, guys, it's like, what the fuck are we laughing about?
Probably chatting with their friends and like laughing about
that
something.
Too.
Yeah,
like
we were occasionally
still laughing maybe about something that had happened like a minute ago.
Yeah, like I just messaged you this morning, and I was talking to Leon about a scene. I was like, dude, I just thought about XYZ scene and started fucking dying at work, because it's like there's one that's so funny,
and it's got a lot of those where like, I think like, to me that's like this movie's strongest strength is like, I really started to like really care and like these characters like as it went on, like where I was
they make them so endearing and so realistic, and like even just from like the primary relationship in this film is Leo DiCaprio's character Bob and his daughter
Willa, right?
Willa, yeah, real name, well, you'll know. So like that's like the main dynamic here, but what's really interesting is they really don't get like a ton of screen time together.
No. And that's because of the way the story plays out.
Yeah.
Because they're separated throughout a lot of this. Which is the whole
premise in like the trailers and everything. Like, he's looking for her.
Exactly. Yeah, true. They did bring that up in the trailer. Exactly. So like throughout a lot of this, basically his daughter goes to a school dance, and after that, they're separated for a bit, and he's trying to look for his daughter.
And that's like the driving force of like 80% of the movie's plot, pretty much. But what's amazing is like they still manage to build the relationship between these two by doing two things. They show the things Willa is doing that was taught to her by her dad and how it's actually helping her manage in this situation. And then it's also showing her dad, who at this point had become kind of complacent and lazy, shaking himself out of that rut for his daughter's sake because they love each other.
Exactly.
Like, it's they have some scenes where they kind of get into tiffs and stuff, like, parents and children do, but ultimately
that just shows
at the end
how
of the day,
good like their chemistry was.
Right.
Because like you said,
you can tell, but
so
you can
much
tell
of
that.
it they're separated, but like eventually it did become like you're like, I really want to see them like
the
reunite.
and the scene. Oh my god, like, dude, it's like
you're just looking forward to that like throughout the whole movie, and you're also worried like, please God,
there's
nothing
genuine
happened to them.
stakes. Yeah, because that's the other thing too.
But it's not this world-ending stakes.
Right.
It's very personal.
Which makes it even crazier. Like, that's more immersive to me.
Oh, same.
You know what I mean?
Because, like, I feel like movies have, like, moved away from that a lot recently, where, like, they always feel like they have to have world-ending stakes.
Right.
And
or even
like,
just unrealistic stakes.
That, too.
Like, thing the average person wouldn't really worry about.
Where it's maybe not world-ending, but it's, like, they feel like it has to be big, and it's, like, personal can feel big, or, like, personal can be a lot better, where you're, like, really getting into the characters. If the actors are doing a good job, like we said, the chemistry is really firing on all cylinders.
What loving parent hasn't thought like how sad it would be to like lose their child somehow? Like, if their child went missing, you know what I mean? Like, how would they react? Like, everybody has like, any loving parent has had that thought before because it's a terrifying thought. And then when you're seeing Leo's character living that thought out, like it's not even a thought anymore. Like, it's happened. It's happening. Like, you can see how he goes into go mode, but he's kind of just like kind of losing his shit the entire time. Like, he really never has full control of the situation, and it's only like the help of people he knows that he's able to ultimately achieve his goal.
Well, it's because I feel like he's having that freak out of like, my daughter's missing, and I have to go in the go mode.
He's trying to lock in, but he's so fucking scared. Like, he's literally terrified.
He's scared. He's like burnt out at this point. Because he spent like the last like 16 years just like smoking weed and like
which is
drinking and shit.
This is literally like one of the first introductions to his character. You see him fucking sparking up a bowl in the car, and it was just like, so it's a character quirk that you get introduced to very early on, and the whole fucking film he's just ripping the pen like at random points. It's so good.
And that was definitely like a weed pen, right?
Oh, obviously. Yeah.
I figure with like how he's just such a massive stoner and everything.
And the way he hides it in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the classic. Like,
yeah, that just those little things like really added the, well, one, it's relatable to I think people like us, but then also I was just like, man, like, I don't think I've ever seen him do a role like this either.
No.
Where like, even though like we were saying it's similar to kind of Once Upon a Time, like, one, he's a dad, which I feel like we haven't seen in many things with him. Two, like I think Leo is, obviously one of the most well-known actors in the world. He's not like confident here though. He's like,
no, he's kind of the opposite. He's very vulnerable and very like in over his head, completely out of his depth. Like, and he admits it. Like, there's lines where he straight up is like, listen, man, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing, essentially. Like, there's a couple times where he says that to people, and you can tell he believes it. Even though, like, he's still managing to get the job done at times. Like, he's failing upward, is, like, what I said to you.
Yes.
On the ride home last night, I was like, dude, I've never seen a protagonist fail upwards so much. But at the same time, you're not completely taken out of it, because it's like, the solutions that they offer in the moments where he fucks up but still manages to like come out ahead are so well set up and so well executed that you're just like, that was great.
It just makes him like so relatable too, because like, who doesn't have those moments in life where like they just feel like a failure almost, right? They're just like, fuck, like, I'm trying to do this,
and yet still, but like those same people might still be getting it done.
Yes.
Like, they almost don't even see like how good they're actually doing.
Exactly.
It's almost like the failing is in their own head.
And they are working, like they are like doing everything they possibly can to make that thing. So it's like, that's what's most important, excuse me. But it's just like, that just made the character like so relatable. Like, even though like another thing we hadn't even touched on, which is like a big part of it too, is like he's basically this ex-revolutionary who essentially because of like what happened with his group of revolutionaries had to kind of go under the radar.
Yeah.
And like that's why, like we said, like he has this experience, and he did a lot of like explosives, right?
Yeah, they called him
Something Pat, right?
Ghetto Pat and the Rocket Man.
Yes.
Those were like his two aliases.
Yep, that was them.
Yep.
But like, yeah, so like, and we also said at the beginning, you're seeing this stuff, like you're seeing him with Willa's mom, basically doing these things, with this revolutionary group, and it's really interesting because like at that point, you do get that sense with him, and there's some characters that even address it too, where it's kind of like, you don't really seem like you're cut out for this almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I think what was really cool about it was that like he ultimately fell in love with Willa's mom, and she is definitely more devoted to this cause than he is. I think he's in this cause because he loves her.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I was just about to bring that up. I was like, it's almost like, it's not that he doesn't believe in the cause. He does. He does. Like he's not just doing it for her. Like he does believe in the cause.
He thinks there's more to life than just that, though.
Right.
And his wife, it's like that's all that's on her mind.
It's really interesting because it's like normally that's kind of like, I feel like the gender roles are usually switched.
No, totally.
With that, and there's a lot of things this movie does in terms of just like
that's kind of
progressive ideals.
Yeah.
That I feel like were really done to perfection because they're not at all in your face ever.
That's another thing I think Paul Thomas Anderson does, though, because I think I was telling you that about Boogie Nights.
Yep.
It's like Mark Wahlberg goes home, and his mom is actually the one that's like the drunk, like abusive, like
not his
parent.
dad, yeah.
And the dad's like this meek, like just like the mom would normally be in these
which
sort of
you would
movies
never
and
like.
stuff.
You usually picture, okay, this kid has a drunk parent and an abused parent.
Yep.
And like most people, the image would immediately be drunk dad.
Yep.
And like meek cow, like just
the mom that gets beat too, or
yeah,
something.
exactly.
It's just too scared
like
to say
that's
anything.
Immediately what your mind would conjure. And honestly, like I'm pretty sure statistically that's usually the case.
Yeah.
But like, it's not all the time.
No, exactly.
Sometimes the situations.
So it's interesting to have these
life.
like kind of, I don't want to say predictable things, but then kind of turn it on its head almost. You know,
just
what I
tropes.
mean?
They're just tropes.
Like
like tropes that you see all the time in film.
That he turns
and
on.
Paul
his head
Thomas
a lot.
Anderson is completely uninterested in them, and he's like, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna invert it, and I'm gonna do something completely out of left field. And I feel like he does that at least a handful of times in like every film he makes.
Oh yeah.
Like you'll see in There Will Be Blood. There's a couple things like that.
Oh okay, interesting.
Where it's like a trope, but it doesn't end up the way you think it would.
Interesting.
Which is great because it's like
no, yeah, it's
because the thing is like like some tropes are good. There's some story tropes that exist because they're good plot devices or they're good ways to
or it's
to
just
drive
the
story.
way like you can write the story cleverly, but like we expect to see certain things in movies.
And
like
sometimes hitting those beats is important.
Exactly.
But then
where you don't want it to feel anticlimactic
right.
or like you're just like what? Like.
But then when there's a moment where like you can subvert expectations, and maybe that outcome will actually be better than if you went down the beaten
give
path.
That effect. Yeah.
And mastering filmmaking, I think, is pretty much just like, or part of it is knowing when to do that and when to stay the beaten path.
But I guess so. We addressed Leonardo DiCaprio.
But then the whole other cast, Benicio del Toro.
Yes, Benicio del Toro. Let's talk about him.
Oh man, probably my favorite role in the film, and probably one of my favorite roles ever by him. And
Same.
And he was the Collector in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
He's Javier in Sicario, the hitman.
Yep.
He was in F1, right? Or was that
No, it was Javier Bardem.
That was Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
That's right. I get them mixed up all the time. I don't know why.
Alternate universe where Benicio's
in
F1.
They're both like such incredible actors, and they both have like these distinctive accents. You know what I mean? Like Have they ever been in anything together?
I don't know. Javier and Benicio?
I'm going to look that up right now.
Yeah, look it up.
Because if not, that's a missed opportunity right there. Somebody's got to get those two in a movie together.
And this was, speaking of that, this was actually the first time Benicio and Leonardo DiCaprio were in a movie together.
Yep.
And their chemistry, once again, two characters that just have amazing chemistry in this movie. And basically Benicio plays Willow's karate instructor. And so
Sensei Sergio.
Yeah, Sensei Sergio, who Bob calls Sensei a lot. And
everyone calls him Sensei.
Yeah.
Like everybody in the fucking town calls him Sensei, which I just find awesome. Like he's got this network of like skateboarding Hispanic kids who are like his fucking crows, dude. Like, have you seen Game of Thrones? Like
those are the people that give him like insider information.
It's like Varys, the spy master, and his crows, like all of his information gatherers. And I'm like,
yeah, that was an awesome touch. And from what we were talking about with someone from Coolidge yesterday,
Ravens, I don't know what they call them.
Benicio came up with a lot of that, didn't he? Like
yeah. There was somebody we talked to after the showing, so shout out
because he was at a Q&A, right?
Yeah. And I guess Benicio actually mentioned that, or Paul, I don't know which one talked about it, but I know that like it was divined that basically Paul Thomas Anderson, I think he said he sent like a picture of like a lion in a kimono to Benicio del Toro, and he went, "Oh, I get it. I understand." And he like read the script, and then he just like came up with all these ideas for what his character. He's like, apparently he was the one who came up with like his importance in the underground like sanctuary city thing that they got going on.
Yup. Which he's just so
things.
Badass because like he's very like calm and collected
the whole time. He's the exact opposite to Bob.
It's like yin and yang, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like he's like, and their chemistry, like we said, is so good that like it almost becomes like kind of like a buddy movie, like with the two of them.
Whenever they're together, absolutely.
Like,
it's like watching fucking Cliff and
exactly.
Cliff and fucking
Rick
Dalton.
Yeah. Where it's just like it's a little bit different, but like I totally understand what you mean. Where it's like you're getting these buddy comedy vibes, and like you just like can't help but sit there and have like a smile on your face. Almost.
I think the buddy, like a good buddy comedy.
Yeah.
Like one that's set around a good story and it's got like dramatic moments and everything is one of my favorite genres of film.
Oh yeah, same.
Like for sure, because like Pulp Fiction can be considered a buddy comedy.
Oh, totally.
With Vince Vega and Jules.
Yo.
Like all of their scenes together just scream buddy comedy, but it's just set in a backdrop of a really fucking crazy Quentin Tarantino film.
And I wasn't expecting that from this movie, so like
yeah.
I think like there was things I was expecting and it nailed all of those.
But those long drawn out comedic moments with Benicio del Toro.
But then you got the comedic
and
moments
DiCaprio.
and the buddy comedy aspect too, or like the buddy film sort of thing, and it was just kind of like I was not expecting this from this, but I'm loving this too.
And these little insights into Benicio's character, like, because you never really are told anything explicit about him. That's the other thing that's interesting about the Sensei.
And if you're
Sergio.
wondering why we're drinking Modelo, it's because that's what Bob and Sensei were drinking in the movie.
Yeah.
Every time they had a scene together.
Pretty much every time they have a scene, they got a can of Modelo in their hands.
Sensei makes sure to give Bob a Modelo to calm him down.
It's actually kind of like incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like my favorite gag throughout the film.
Same.
There's other ones, but I don't want to spoil them.
They were comedic gag for sure.
That was a comedic gag, but like there's other gags that are actually like almost plot relevant.
Yes.
Weirdly enough. And
with the villains.
Yeah, definitely don't want to talk about that. That's someone else we need to talk about, Sean Penn.
Yes.
I don't think his name's come up once.
Nope.
So the main antagonist in this film, because
Colonel Lockjaw, right?
Colonel Lockjaw, yeah,
Lockjaw.
Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw, which is one of the fucking just like awesome McCool name, dude.
Yeah,
like what the fuck?
Like, and like that's like the other thing that just this movie is good. Like all the characters, like their names have like stuck with me since then. But it's because, like I said, like as you watch it, like this was one of the rare instances I checked my phone, but it's because I did not want this to end. Like I checked my phone because I was like, I really hope there's like 2 hours left still, and like I checked it and there was like 50 or an hour left. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like,
and mine was even more intense because we talked about it afterwards. I did the same thing. I just got curious because there was a point in the film where it seemed like they were really building up towards a climax. Like, it looked like they were in, like, the build-up, the run-up to the climax and, like, the resolution and everything. And I was like, there's no way. Like, there's got to be so much movie left. And I checked my phone, and I'm like, damn, there's only like 30 minutes left. I was like, holy shit, it's already been over 2 hours.
What?
I was like, that's fucking nuts.
Which, like we said, like, 2 hours and 42 minutes.
Like, they could totally wrap this up in 30 minutes. Yeah. Like, what a fucking insane, well-paced film.
But, like I think that was one of my worries going into this was I was like, man, this is like one of his longest films.
It
like,
earns that runtime. It's like The Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Matt Reeves' Batman is the same way.
Because that's similar length, right?
Almost
like,
the exact
much right
same.
Around
the
same, yeah.
And that was also a movie where, like, it really earned its runtime, in my opinion.
And we saw it multiple times, and, like, even after seeing it a couple times, like, the pacing was still really good.
To this day, I would sit down and watch that movie in one sitting nonstop gladly every single time. It's just, like, it's such a good film.
I think I saw that, like, or we saw that, like, 3 or 4 times in theaters or something.
I think 4 at least.
And never, like, the pacing never dragged. And, like, that's why I'm really interested to see this again, too, because, 1, like we said, it's, like, one of my favorite movies of this year. And 2, I'm really interested to see how the pacing is upon repeat viewings.
For sure.
I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
But obviously we haven't seen it a second time because we saw an early access showing. But yeah, like,
time for another Modelo.
Yeah, I already got my. Remember my one I cracked open.
We were supposed to crack them open on camera, and he fucked up and cracked open one beforehand.
Because mine's almost getting low too. But yeah. So, anything else in terms of, like, non-spoiler things we want to discuss?
Oh, I just wanted to say Sean Penn to, like, go back to that.
We didn't finish that. Yeah.
Sean Penn was a spectacular antagonist. Kind of a character that you very rarely see him play. Very machismo, very, like, red-blooded American, like, very just, like, gung-ho. Like, he has this kind of, like, military dad aesthetic. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like...
And it's very relevant character, too.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, the whole plot of this film is very relevant to just everything, a lot of things going on right now.
Things going on politically, things going on with ICE and stuff like that, which, you know, like we talked about, he was filming this probably, like, 2 years ago from what I remember of set photos and stuff, too. And it's like, man, he was so on the
prophetic.
Money, like prophetic almost with just, like, the shit going on nowadays and how this is coming out, like,
a review
very shortly after that stuff.
A review I saw in Letterboxd that I really agree with is that somebody said that they believe wholeheartedly that 10, 15 years from now people are going to look at this film and marvel at how ahead of its time it was.
Oh yeah.
And I really do believe that.
And it's like, I think the comedy aspects, like, really also help, like, which, you know, obviously I'm not going to go into it at all, but, like, the way this movie ends, like, it also just helps make that ending feel earned and make it it's actually a very hopeful ending.
Incredibly.
Where, like, I think it's kind of goes against, it's heartwarming, it's very hopeful, and, like, I think it goes against also what we kind of talked about of, like, expectation with these sort of endings too.
Yep.
Where, like, I think, like, I saw a point where I was a little worried and I thought it might just end. And then it didn't. And then it had this ending like we talked about that was very impactful. And I was like, wow, this just sent it over, like, to, like I said, like, my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, really love this movie. I think it's, like, a near perfect movie. I can't think of really anything that was bad about it, honestly.
I can't either. Like, I was watching it the whole time, like, you know, when it comes to, especially because we saw the reviews beforehand. We knew it had a 96 on Metacritic and a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, like, we knew, we're like, okay, everybody fucking loves this movie.
But if anything, that would make us more critical,
That's
right?
what I'm saying. That's what I'm
trying to find.
Same. That's like, I was being, like, I would say actually unfairly, like, scrutinous. Like, I was really nitpicking or trying to nitpick everything for the first, like, 10 or 15 minutes,
Yo.
and I gave up on that because then I rapidly realized that that there was going to be no misstep in this film. Like it became very apparent. I was like, oh, okay, I should just sit back and enjoy instead of trying to be like a curmudgeon because I'm not going to find anything. Like
I think like if like I don't think like I say I don't even think I would say this is a weakness or negative, but I will say I think I started to like it even more as it went along.
Yeah, me too. So it picked like the beginning was almost like I was worried that the beginning was going to be like weirdly paced.
Yes.
Like the first 30 minutes or so kind of like
when you say that's probably like not weak but like probably the weakest part almost.
They had a lot of setup to do and it feels like everything else about the movie is the more important part.
Yes.
But it's still relevant, and
it's very relevant.
Because of how relevant it continues being, it made me, in retrospect, appreciate the first 30 minutes a lot more than I did when I first saw it.
Very good point. Like, because, like, you see why they did all that.
Exactly. It starts becoming a lot more understandable as like the plot develops, and you're like, oh, I really needed to see all that.
And also, I think it's kind of like you said, where it's like we were almost maybe trying to be kind of nitpicky when we first went into it. Which probably affected
our initial view of
exactly,
that.
Where
second viewing, I'm probably going to watch it and be like, never mind, this is peak.
Exactly. So, like I said, not even a weakness to me. I still love that part, but like
if you feel that way, just know probably like 20 minutes later you won't.
It picks up. Yeah. And like
it never looks back.
Exactly. And so yeah, I think like we talked about the direction, cinematography, music, acting,
stunt work. That's the only other thing we could talk about.
Yeah, I guess we can talk about that because this is kind of his most action-filled film. Even though like I think the trailers, that's another thing I will say is like the trailers definitely don't expect like fucking John Wick or some shit.
Right.
Going
yeah.
It's
not a super duper action packed thriller. It's like, but it does have some pretty intense set pieces.
But like,
there's a couple
you remember
scenes
seeing out the trailer where it's like best action movie of the year?
Yeah, and it's
like that. And it's like that's not the things you should be highlighting.
No.
Like, with this, and like
the
I wouldn't.
Action takes it plays second fiddle to literally everything else in this film. But
like
it's
nobody,
still good.
nobody too has better action than this. So like if you're looking for an action movie, go see that. But
what you do get is very, very, very well done.
Yes.
Like and very perfectly shot.
Yup.
No janky camera angles, no janky cuts. Well, I mean, it's Paul Thomas Anderson. There's like never cuts.
Yeah.
You get like 15
long
cuts
scenes.
Per film.
Yeah.
Which I love.
No,
I fucking love that he does that.
Because like we said, it kind of goes back to like the thing we said with VistaVision is it's another thing that adds to making you feel like you're kind of there and you're so immersed
in it. There's so few camera cuts, especially for some of the more drawn out like social scenes where there's a lot of dialogue. And it's beautiful because it's like it really puts you in there and like you're seeing like dude the pawn shop. Remember the pawn shop when he goes upstairs?
Yup.
And that whole scene is the camera rotating, following Leo, going to Benicio Leo, up the stairs, through that room, and it was all this one continuous shot. And I'm like, dude, imagine they fucked up on that shot. Imagine someone screwed up and Paul was
God damn it,
gotta do it again. Holy shit! It probably because like the amount of time it took to film it is how long the scene is.
Yeah,
which is like 5 or fucking 6 minutes or something.
But luckily, I'm sure that never happened because these are all professionals.
Right? They probably like did a lot of rehearsal and stuff. Yeah.
Like, weren't you saying Chase Infinity, the actress that plays Willow? This is her first movie.
This is her first ever film credit.
But she was amazing in this too.
And something else.
She was so good in this. Great chemistry with
Leonardo DiCaprio. Do you know how old she is, by the way?
I do not. You might want to look that up since
I know.
My PC's...
you
do?
I know. I blew my mind because I looked up some information about the film last night. Her character in the film is 16. She's 27.
Okay, that's literally what I was going to guess.
You were going to guess that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was like,
which is my age, but...
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy. But,
she did fantastic.
Hey, well, I guess it shows, like, if we ever wanted to do a high school movie, like, we could play high schoolers.
Well, I mean, that DoorDasher that one night thought we were all high schoolers.
Oh, yeah.
That?
Yeah.
That's a completely different story for another time. But anyway, yeah.
Great chemistry
Chase Infinity,
in this.
Fantastic. Like I feel like we'll talk about her more in the spoiler section, but she was also a standout performance in this film.
Definitely.
By far. But the thing is, it's a film full of people really fighting to be the best actor in the film. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wants to be the best, it feels like, so that means they're all pushing each other to be better, and, like, they're all playing off each other's chemistry so perfectly. Like, Sean Penn is amazing in every single one of his scenes with Tiana Taylor and Regina Hall. Like,
Sean Penn, Chase Infinity, and Leonardo DiCaprio are kind of, like, all fighting to be the main character too.
Yes,
where, like,
they have by far the most screen time.
Yeah, those three characters definitely get the most focus. But like we said, like, as it goes on, especially, you become so endeared to these characters. Even Sean Penn as the villain, who is, like, such a dickhead.
Such a chud, but for some reason you're just like, this guy. Even though he's kind of, like, actually an evil bastard, like, you're still just like, he's, like, funny. He's like pathetic and funny, so you're just like, oh, this guy. Like, you almost pity him.
You can tell he has, like, nothing in his life, pretty much. You know?
Yeah, right. But Sean Penn plays him with such a, like, he has this kind of false sense of bravado.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's putting up this front of being, like, this super straight cut, boot-laced military man. You know, like.
Like the classic kind of.
Exactly, the undercut.
But
like,
he's not.
Tight ass, like, tank tops, and, you know, he's like tattoos, and he's like, it's just like, he's always wearing tactical pants no matter where he is or what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's incredible. Like, he just portrays that role like it was meant for him, but that's literally Sean Penn in every role he's in, I think. So.
And, like, I think, like, maybe he would be that sort of person, but, like, I think, like, the one thing that he lets get in his way is, like, his fucking dick, you know? Like, he fucking, he's thinking with his dick, you know?
Quite literally.
Quite literally. You'll know what we mean.
A good transition, I think.
It's perfect transition.
It's spoiler territory.
Spoiled it.
So I think from now on, we're going to have no more spoiler warnings.
Yes.
This is it.
We've been warned.
We're going to be talking about the whole film from now on, uncensored. Spoiler.
We're 47 minutes in, so yeah, it's about spoiler time, I think. But
so he said he was thinking with his dick.
Yes. So
that was probably one of the funniest scenes in the film.
Yeah. So what I meant by that is he basically has this fascination with
Tiana Taylor's character.
Was it Perfidia?
Perfidia Beverly Hills.
Yes, Perfidia Beverly Hills.
Perfidia
Beverly Hills.
Yep.
He
who
basically
is Willa's mother and Pat's, like, significant other.
Yeah. But he basically has this. He basically catches on to the group because, or he doesn't catch on. They actually find him. Basically, they're doing this mission one day.
They're busting out. So, like, the revolutionary group, they're called the French 75.
Yeah. And it's all these, like, immigrants, right?
Yeah, they're mostly like freedom fighters for immigrants who are being, like, basically rounded up in this world and sent into, like, very visible and very blatant, like, concentration camps.
Huh. Sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird.
So it's a situation where they're kind of, like, trying to bust them out. They're trying to free them, and they're fighting back against what they see as this regime. And you'll see later on in the film that it very much is a regime.
Yes.
Because there's, like, a secret society and all this shit. It's fucking crazy.
Yes. Which is what we talked about earlier as, like, one of the running jokes. Yeah.
Yeah. So they bust into this camp. It's one of the first scenes in the film. It's how you're introduced to Pat as the Rocket Man, because he's a pyrotechnic. So he's like an engineer and a pyrotechnic and an electrician. So he has all these skills, and you see them come up later in the film too. Which I love, like, because we mentioned him being kind of washed up and burnt out, but
he still has those skills. Because that was, like, his main skill, you know.
Honestly, I'm gonna say this too. Actually, kind of bummed that at no point after the revolution scenes do you ever see Pat use, like, some kind of explosive again.
Yeah, that was kind of odd.
I would have loved to see him get out of some situation by, like, jury-rigging a bomb. You know what I mean?
Imagine he, like, jury-rigged the car as a bomb.
Right, no, exactly. Like, I would have loved to see some crazy shit like that where it's like he saves the day because he has this crazy skill that no one else had, and he just used it for the first time in years. I was also really hoping, I guess
the impression was that maybe he is so washed up that, like,
he doesn't really practice that stuff anymore. Yeah, because it's been 16 years. So
exactly. And he used, like, Wasn't like fireworks at the beginning too?
Among other things, but he also made actual bombs.
Oh yeah, because then they blew up the those
he made
buildings,
actual bombs. It wasn't
the buildings and stuff. And
he did the fireworks as a distraction.
In
his first mission, but then he started making actual bombs.
No, I forgot about the actual bomb stuff because that was more like quick cuts, like a montage sort of scene.
But I also wished, and this is kind of like the first hint it gave me that this wasn't going to be that kind of movie, which I was fine with.
Yeah.
But I just was like wondering if it was going to happen. The scene where the police show up at his house, at his new house.
You thought maybe it was gonna be there or something,
or that he was like his whole house was gonna be like fucking booby trapped or something. You know what I mean?
Like I thought thinking the same.
I thought they were gonna come up from the yard or something, and then they were all gonna die horribly.
I thought when they dropped like a smoke bomb down there, that was gonna somehow activate like
an actual bomb because they were like he was a fucking like
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's actually a good point. It was kind of a missed opportunity, but honestly, with how good this movie is,
I really
it's a very minor thing. It's not even a complaint. It's just kind of
an observation.
Interesting they didn't go that route, I guess.
But I guess that's just again Paul Thomas Anderson's subversion of expectations. Because like it's almost like he gave you a Chekhov's gun that was unloaded.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
where like you really thought maybe that was going to come back into play at some point. They
established it. Like that was how he got famous.
But then kind of like we said, it subverted expectations and actually had other characters maybe
mostly driving
kill
the
plot. Villain or or save the day or however you want to say it. But
I think that's like probably the most compelling thing about his character is the fact that he is driving the plot by purposefully going to try to save his daughter, but he's so in over his head that he really needs the help of all of his friends. All his former friends that because they show how he didn't sever those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Even though he was underground and he had to stay underground, like all these people still
he hasn't seen
him.
them probably, but he still was in contact with them, like through the radio and stuff.
It's like what I said to you yesterday, where I loved there's a little piece of world building dialogue that I think was really really cool because like the French 75, like by the time that it's present day and Bob's like retired, Bob is like retired. They're kind of still around, but not in the same capacity that they were in the past.
True.
But the thing is like certain characters in universe in the present speak about them like reverently, and like even Benicio del Toro's character Sensei Sergio like talks about at the second time that he saves Bob's ass. He's like, it's not every day you get to say a French 75 twice.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they never pay any more attention to that, but like. It kind of puts to bed, like, maybe you'll be wondering at this point, like, why is this guy helping Bob out so much, this fuck-up pot addict? Why does he keep helping him out? And then you learn that it's because he has such a deep respect for what Bob did in his past life.
It's almost like he's a legend, kind of,
literally,
from what he did, 16 years ago.
No matter what he is now, no matter what he has become, they still remember what he was.
Because they're like,
and they hold
you're
him
a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, they hold him in incredibly high regard because they're using stealth tactics and they're using subversion to get by. They fucking fought the government straight up.
Yeah,
no holds bar, broad daylight. They fought the government for years. So like what he did is like legendary in universe, even though he's kind of just this washed up pothead now.
Yup.
But I think I love that because it's like you kind of see him realizing that at times throughout the film when he just like when he gets freed from the hospital and he's mind blown.
Yeah. When the nurse,
you're gonna go to the bathroom and walk right through it and then take the hallway and go all the way down to the hall
right now.
Right now. Yep. Unlocks his handcuffs and he's like, oh, okay, thank you. Well, you can tell he's like, what's happening right now? He's like he's confused, but he's also like grateful, and like. Oh, it's just awesome, and it really deepens that bond between him and Sergio, dude. Because it's like, because not only does we mentioned earlier the Modelo, not only does Sergio pick him up at the hospital after freeing him because he has connections, but then as soon as he gets in the car, he fucking hands him the Modelo, and he's got a 4-pack of Modelo, and he's drinking one too, and they're like going down the road, like it's like the third time that happens, and
which also led to that funny ass scene where fucking like he's like, oh, put it down.
Yeah, the cop. He's like, there he comes. But another thing I loved about Sergio's character, because we couldn't really talk about this too much without it being a little spoilery, is just how like they never go into detail with how Bob met Sergio, how
True.
Sergio became Willa's sensei,
Mm-hmm.
and all that shit. But they do focus, like, those lingering shots in the dojo
Mm-hmm.
when you would see the pictures on the wall and everything,
Yo.
and they were pretty much like all Willa, and like the medals and everything.
Senseis.
Yeah.
Yo.
So it's like I think like they just go, like try to paint this picture of how like Sergio is kind of more than just like a protector.
He's like a family friend, basically.
He's a family friend. Like, he's been Willa's sensei for years, and they have, like, a really special relationship, like a mentor-protege relationship. And then he also has that friendship with Bob.
Which
and
is
Bob
actually...
trusts him implicitly.
Which is actually how she's introduced, is, like,
Yep.
she's with Sensei.
And they're going through
not how she's introduced, but how Chase Infinity, when she's grown as an adult, is
she's doing her katas.
Reintroduced as Willa. And it's with when she's with Sensei at the dojo. And, like... That's the only scene you get with them, unfortunately. But like you said, it gives you these sort of insights where it's like, okay, I kind of get the feeling like he's more than just her sensei. Like you said, like I think he's kind of like a family friend or something.
And they only
too.
have a couple. They only have a couple lines with each other, but like they just.
But that all comes
really,
across.
It's fucking amazing,
and
like,
it's cool. Like when you can kind of start filling stories in that weren't even told or shown in your own head.
There's so much subtext in
because
every
it just
scene.
Seems like they like thought about the characters in the story that much.
Yep. It's incredible.
But I guess the other thing I really wanted to touch on was this movie kind of had like Luke, I am your father sort of aspect to it.
Oh yeah.
Because early in the film, Perfidia is basically caught by Lockjaw.
Yeah.
And basically implies that like, hey, like have sex with me, or I'm gonna basically like fucking bring you to jail, basically, right?
Yeah.
So they meet at this hotel room, and all we really see is like
debauchery.
Her like shoving a gun up his ass, or like her tongue. Or
yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah,
what,
it's
really,
like it was
but...
fucking. It was like kind of comedic in nature, even though it was also like. And that's the other thing this film does is like there's so much serious dramatic stakes and comedy, and somehow it manages to seamlessly blend the two sometimes. Like it's really fucking crazy.
But basically, so, and once again, he does a lot of like basically kind of showing you but not telling you, where like you see that stuff, and then as when it comes up later in the film, it's basically this question of whether Lockjaw is possibly Willa's father.
Yep.
And it comes down to this scene where he basically does like a test to
DNA test.
Yeah, DNA test. Yep. Thank you. To basically do that, which once again can be kind of interpreted in multiple different ways, because he does it very quickly and very hastily, yes, would be a good word. So I guess there even becomes questions as to whether he did that correctly, maybe even.
Yeah.
But it basically confirms to us that yes, he is, and that adds another wrinkle to this where you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it becomes kind of sad and makes you root for her and Leonardo DiCaprio even more.
Yeah.
Because it's like he just starts treating her like shit. Like he's calling her a fucking mutt, and he's calling her all this other stuff. And she just basically had this world-breaking revelation that like, this is my father.
Yep.
And
as far as she knows.
As far as she knows. And it becomes really sad because he just is kind of doesn't even care. He just doesn't care. He's more he cares more about being part of the
Christmas Adventurers.
Yeah, the Christmas Adventurers.
That's the secret society we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
It's so fucking hilarious. It's just a bunch of old white dudes.
Hail Saint Nick.
Saint Nick, yeah.
And
oh my god, they never really elaborate on anything about that shit besides introducing it, and it's just like
it's so bizarre and weird.
It's amazing.
It's funny too.
It's amazing.
Where,
it's
like,
so funny.
Like I think it's also pretty relevant to nowadays, because it's like I think it's like it's almost like that sort of thing where not to like go into conspiracy theories or anything like that, because I don't even really believe in a lot of that stuff, but it's like you almost wonder where like this stuff with a lot of the political stuff happening nowadays, like how can someone almost be like so evil? Like why would they be doing this?
Right.
And like I think this added an interesting wrinkle of like this Christmas Adventurers Club, where it's like it's kind of like it adds this wrinkle of like people feel like they are part of something bigger,
right?
And like they're doing this.
Well, it's even Sean Penn's line. It's even Colonel Lockjaw's line.
That's
where he's like,
literally says,
like, "This is bigger than you.
Yeah.
I'm part of something bigger than you."
Exactly.
Like when he's having a meltdown.
And I think there's comparisons where people could be like, say the same thing about a political party or something like that too, where it's like, why do people get so devoted to like something?
It's kind of almost an examination of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just like that. It almost seems extremely silly, and it is, but like it works so well to his character.
Because it's satire, almost rooted in reality in certain ways.
Yeah,
and it's like on both sides though. That's the thing. It's not even just like it's very, very bipartisan. Like when he like that conversation that Bob has with the dude on the hotline, the protected hotline for the French 75, and he's like, listen, you fucking... He's like, this is actually a violation of my safe space. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Fuck you, you fucking pussy.
Honestly,
like,
now that I think about it, that might have actually been my favorite gag.
Yeah, him arguing with that guy like 3 times. It's like, because he's so washed out, he can't remember the code phrases that they use to communicate on their telephone lines, so they're not telling him any information.
You're
he's
fucking
like
nitpicker.
And he's like fucking crashing out. He's like, listen, my name is fucking Pat. Ghetto Pat, the Rocket Man. As part of the French 75, you fucking know who I am. Tell me the rendezvous point.
Why are you nitpicking me, man? What the fuck?
What time is it? Oh, come the fuck on.
8:15.
Yeah, 8:50. Yeah, he's just walking around with the beers. 8:15. Fucking Sergio. Not even like, and we talked about that too, like earlier today. Is like Sergio and Bob are almost like yin and yang. Like, they're such, like, complementary forces, because Bob is like... Oh, he's getting his other Modelo. Look at that. They're such complementary forces, because Bob is so chaotic and just all over the place, and Sergio, the sensei, is so calm and so collected and has, like, everything in order, and, like, they just kind of, like, work off of each other so well in that sense, and I love that.
No, Sam. So, what... I mean, there's other things. There's so much to talk about with this movie, too.
What do we want to, like, if we had to summarize it, because I feel like we could sit here and talk about it.
No, exactly.
Ever.
So I think the other thing I really want to talk about is, like, the ending part.
Right, that's right. You mentioned,
the car chase, and then also just so we can address the ending that we talked about earlier and everything. But that whole ending car chase scene was, like,
wild.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a director, like, use roads
topography
in the way that he did too.
Topography, bro. Yeah, like he uses it in such a way where it obfuscates like what's happening.
And not only does he use it like from a directing and cinematography sense, it ends up having plot relevance too, to like how basically this gets solved, like a solution to this car chase scene, into something that goes on with the villain too, or the villains. So it's very... It's such an awesome scene.
Yeah, it is.
It's such a tense scene. You got like
I loved it.
Leonardo DiCaprio in his shitty little car that he hot-wired, chasing after what was it? What was the middle guy?
I forget what his fucking name was, but he was one of the Christmas.
Yeah. Chasing after him, who's chasing after Willa.
Yep.
And it's
because basically their whole deal is like Lockjaw was going to be a member of their community, and he was for a while. And then they discovered that he might have had an interracial relationship. Which they're white nationalists. That's not very fucking, like, between the lines. They're very obtuse and very, like, explicit about it. And that's a no-no for them. So their solution, of course, is to have him hunted down and killed, and have Willa hunted down and killed, because she's living evidence of it.
Kill both of them.
Kill both of them is this guy's mission. And so he pretty much nearly succeeds with Lockjaw, but Lockjaw gets his anyway.
Lockjaw gets shot in the face with a shotgun and
he survives, and then he gets gassed by the same people. Because even though someone tried to kill him, he still trusted them again like a fucking idiot. Which is something I thought about after I woke up this morning. I'm like, why do you fucking trust them after he just like randomly got nearly assassinated?
Yeah, like he just didn't even think about that.
Who the fuck that guy was. But anyway,
Maybe he had some memory issues.
And so
after that.
like Bob is chasing this guy to prevent him from getting Willa, and it's a very tense scene, and it's handled with such like. The payoff is perfect. Like the final reunion, like that you talked about between Willa and Bob, was exactly what I was hoping it would be, and it was so like. And then it transitions into the ending scene, which is so like even after all that bullshit, like Willa ends up killing the guy.
Yup.
She ends up killing the dude.
And she's so like that was one thing that also had me scared is she's so like fucked up like from it that like I thought like she might shoot Leonardo DiCaprio.
Me too. I was like, no, don't do it. It was so fucked. It's just like because they're holding the guns at each other and she's so shell shocked and he has to be like, it's your dad, it's me, your dad, like blah blah blah. And what's interesting is I don't think she ever broaches the subject about like Lockjaw maybe being her biological father. No. But she even said to him earlier in the film, she's like, I have a dad and you're not fucking him. Like no matter what that thing says. Mm-hmm. Like she makes it very clear that she doesn't actually give a fuck.
So ultimately, I think it was like the sort of thing where like she knew that would just hurt him. Ultimately, and just decided
like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it literally doesn't matter. Like you're my dad.
He's been my dad. Yeah, exactly.
Like, which I kind of fucking loved that.
But you know what's the other thing I was also thinking about was that when Perfidia leaves, because that was the other thing we haven't discussed yet, is she ends up leaving the family after they have Willa and she's a baby, and it's basically because she is more devoted to the cause, like we said, but it's also because she says that like she almost feels like she's not like his number one girl anymore, where she almost feels like since they had the baby, like that's all he cares about, Yeah. And I kind of, after, the revelation that he's possibly the father and everything, I was kind of wondering, like, and I was going to ask you this too, like, do you think that, like, part of that decision was also, like, guilt too? Because she, like, knew that he was possibly the father and that, like, he was basically going to be, not only was she more devoted to the cause and was going to just want to do that, but just felt guilty that, like, you're basically going to be the one taking care of this and, like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that was part of her decision as well. Where she almost felt like she doesn't deserve to almost be part of this family in a way, too. You know what I mean?
It's like a self-exile kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack about her character, because just like the lineage she comes from, because I guess she comes from a long line of revolutionaries. Like her family was probably descended from slaves. Yep. Because they kind of have like an Underground Railroad situation going on. Yep. They even make that joke at one point. It's like, we got this whole what do they say, like Latin American Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad thing going on. Railroad, yeah. It was pretty fucking great.
Yeah, it was a funny line.
It was a funny line, funny throwaway line. Yeah, I feel like she just probably just felt so guilty that she like exiled herself almost.
But then the other question that comes up is, so she's only in
that puts her resentment for Willa, or for Charlene, because that's her birth name. That puts her resentment for Charlene in a completely different lens, like when you consider it that way. Yeah.
So like I thought that was really interesting too, and it was something I didn't really think about until like this morning.
That's a good point. Almost. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, but I think the other thing that's interesting is, like we said, she's only in the beginning portion of this movie, so there comes a point where she's not in the rest of the movie.
Right, but she's still an important character.
Exactly, and she does actually kind of come back at the end through the letter that she gives to Willa, so we hear her voice through that. Yep. But there's this big question of kind of like what happened to her character too.
Yeah, they last thing you see is her leave her like witness protection house and Mexico. She goes to Mexico. Yeah. And at various points it's claimed that she's dead. Yes. Mostly by Lockjaw. He claims he killed her. But we never actually see evidence of that, so he could just be talking a big game, which he's known to do.
I think it was kind of one of those things, though, like we talked about with him, where like it's subverting expectations, because we saw her go to Mexico, so when all the characters are talking about her being dead, you don't really believe it. You're like, oh, I know, like she's not dead, she's just in Mexico or whatever. But then I think, and it's up to interpretation, but I think it got to a point where I realized I think she is dead.
Yeah.
And I think it was something that happened off screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the years while Willow
whether it
was
was him or
up.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have been like 5 years after, when Willow was like
10,
5
15,
or when she was 10.
At some point she was in contact with Pat.
Exactly.
But we don't know when.
I think like Lockjaw like possibly like killed her or
Found
something.
her, yeah, because we already know he was cleaning up loose ends.
Yup.
So.
And he was just obsessed and everything too. So it's just like kind of makes sense. But I thought that was really interesting how they left that up to interpretation too. But the last thing I want to address is that ending scene like we talked about. Cause
Leon, I'm going to be honest with you right now. I have to pee so bad.
Okay. That ending scene, though, like we said, very heartfelt. It's the letter that she sent to Willa at some point, and basically
Yep.
Like, Bob gives it to her. And basically,
we don't know when that's addressed from. We don't know when that's from.
Exactly. We don't know where it's from. We don't know when or everything. So
he's had it for a while, though, he says.
Yeah. So like we kind of talked about, it leaves all these questions in your mind. But I love that with movies when like you can like rewatch it and you're probably gonna have a new take like every time you rewatch it almost. So honestly, like to end things, like I'd say this is like a perfect movie for me. Like,
it's about as close to a 10 as I'm ever comfortable giving out.
Yes, and like. Definitely like one of the best movies we reviewed on this podcast.
If it's your first Paul Thomas Anderson film, it's gonna be hard to top it, to be honest. Like I think There Will Be Blood and The Master might be the only two who even come close.
Yeah, or maybe Boogie Nights, but
maybe Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights is pretty good too.
Yep.
But yeah. So
Thank
Make sure
you so
you
much,
go see
Pose.
it in theaters.
Yeah, see it in theaters for sure, in the best format
theaters.
you can.
This poor movie is projected to be a pretty mediocre, lukewarm box office performance, so I'd love to see those projections get proven wrong, and I'd love to see the positive word of mouth get people to go see this because it really deserves it.
And also, we discovered it's probably only going to be around for like a week because
so many
Avatar, Way of Water re-release, and Smashing
Go
Machine.
see it in your favorite premium format of choice while you can.
Yes.
Go do it ASAP.
But you go take a pee. You want to hand me that thing and I can read us off?
Yeah, dude. Here you go.
All right. We got a new sign.
Peace, bros.
Thank you for joining us, Dan. But as always, you can follow retro-TAINMENT, or Two Pose in a Pod, on YouTube at retro-TAINMENT and Grill TV Studios, which is our other channel. You can also follow us on Facebook at retro-TAINMENT. It is cap sensitive, so make sure you pay attention to the how it's spelt. And Grill TV. Instagram, you can follow us at 2 Pose in a Pod, or my personal page, BorgesNL, and Grill TV Official. On X, formerly Twitter, you can follow us at retro-TAINMENT and Grill TV. And on TikTok, you can follow us at retro-TAINMENT and Grill TV. Also, listen to 2 Pose in a Pod on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, CastBox, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, Overcast, and Pocket Casts. Thank you so much for joining us, Pose. Love you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.